Sorry, ma'am, flight attendants aren't actually airport employees. A few days ago, I was between flights at the RSW airport grabbing a cup of coffee. I'm in my flight attendant uniform, and I get approached every once in a while, and I do my best to be polite and help people out, since most airport questions are easily answerable. A woman approached me and asked where the smoking area is. I'm not a smoker, and I've only been to this airport a few times, so I'm not actually sure. Me. A smoking area? I think I saw one over by the Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not sure if there's one on this side. Lady. Way over there? That's the other side of the airport. Are you sure there's not one over here? Mind you, this is a fairly small airport. It takes about 5 minutes to get across the entire terminal. Me. I'm sorry, ma'am. I've only been here a few times, actually. I work out of Minneapolis, so this airport is pretty foreign to me. Maybe you should ask one of the gate agents or someone working at the coffee shop. I try a charming laugh. Lady, but I'm asking you now. Why can't you be helpful here? She's getting frustrated with me. Me. Again, I don't actually work here. Us flight attendants don't actually spend a ton of time at the airports we go to. I don't know the layout. My coffee arrives and I ask the barista about smoking areas. Barista. There's a smoking area just over there. You can actually see it from where you're standing, ma'am. It's literally 15 feet away. I hadn't noticed it since I don't smoke. Things like this usually aren't on my radar. Me. Oh, it's right there. Nice. Just for future reference, ma'am, flight attendants aren't actually airport employees, so we're kind of helpless with things like this. Have a great day, alright? I'm trying to be charming. Lady. Then why did you try to send me all the way to the other side of the freaking planet if it's right there? Whatever. Learn to do your job, butthole. She walks to the smoking area in a huff. The barista and I looked at each other in silence for a few seconds before sharing a quick laugh. I swear I did my best to be helpful even though I didn't actually work there. Even after explaining this, the woman insisted that I worked at the airport. Some people. Okay, first off, if you're gonna ask someone for help, be nice about it. Nobody has to help you, so when they do, they're doing you a favor, so you can at least be polite. And second, I guess I can kind of see how people would think flight attendants know the layout of airports since, they fly so much, but why wouldn't you ask a desk agent or security guard or something first? That makes no sense to me. I'm not a cop, lady. I'm not even a real security guard. I don't work here, and neither does he. For preface, I'm a glorified receptionist with a badge and a uniform. My title is technically a security guard, but I don't consider myself one. I work at a call center, and I monitor employees to make sure they have their badges to get in and out of the building. That's the entirety of my job. I had no training in anything remotely security related. I don't handle conflicts, I can't fight, heck, I'm not even allowed to lay a hand on anyone while in uniform. For more information, I'm a young woman, early 20s working through college, and a bit heavyset. I'm also very short, and my uniform is 2 or 3 sizes too big. I by no means look professional, intimidating, or like I have any sort of authoritative power. Now with the event. This happened at the lovely superstore known for blue colors, Wally World. I got off work at midnight, and as my workplace is right next to this location that is open 24 hours, I decided to get a snack on the way home. I was browsing the snack aisle, which was also the aisle with alcohol, and debating going hungry because rent is due and I really don't need a snack this late, when I happened to witness another I Don't Work Here encounter going on just down the aisle. The lady accosting the poor man down the aisle was definitely not a Karen. She looked like the trashiest of white trash, and was wearing pajama bottoms and a very dirty tank top that used to be white. She was yelling at some poor guy, apparently demanding he get another case of beer that happened to be out of stock from the back. The dude just happened to be wearing a blue shirt, but it was covered in Greek letters from a fraternity I know of. This is a college town. I'm pretty sure I've seen this guy on campus a few times. He was being pretty polite, considering how she was acting. Guy. Lady, back off. I told you I don't work here. Lady. Don't freaking lie to me. I saw you putting stuff away. Go get my beer. Guy. Are you deaf or just stupid, lady? Find someone else. It was getting really loud, and I was trying not to get involved, to be honest. I was tired and hungry and just wanted some chips. The guy was trying to get her to leave him alone, and he was trying to walk away and leave the situation. A wise move. But the lady was having none of it. She grabbed him with a loud scream of anger. He obviously was surprised by this, and he quickly yanked his arm out of her grip. But that made her stumble and she fell on her butt. The next thing I know, she's shouting at me, who was all the way down the aisle. Lady. He just assaulted me. Do something. Me. I'm not really sure what you want me to do. Lady. Freaking arrest him. Me. I'm not a police officer. Lady, you're security! Do your freaking job! Me, I don't work here, lady. Lady, incomprehensible sounds of screaming and outrage. I guess by this point, all the noise had gotten the attention of the manager, who came running. The lady demanded the frat guy be fired and arrested for assault. The frat guy is telling his side of the story as much as he can with the lady screaming at everyone. And of course, the manager wasn't sure what to do. He looks at me. Manager, so what do you need from me? Me, what? Manager, she says she was assaulted and he says he was. Do you need to review our footage? Me, I'm not a cop. Manager, but your uniform. Me, says security on the back and the name of the company I work for, right here. It's in nice big letters on my front shirt pocket. Manager, so he clearly didn't get it. Frat guy, dude, she's not a cop, just a guard at a different company. Leave her alone. Obviously he lurks this thread enough to understand. Manager, oh, sorry. I still don't think he understood. He ends up taking the frat guy and screaming lady to the office to calm down and look over the tapes. I'm not sure what happened after that. Pretty sure the frat guy got off clean since she grabbed him and he just pulled away. I was done with the world by that point and grabbed a tub of ice cream instead, then went home swearing to never go to Wally World at midnight ever again. Not an employee, so I get hit on by a Star Wars nerd. Okay, this was about 5 or so years ago. I'm on mobile, so bad formatting, sorry. So I was meeting friends at a bar for dinner and drinks. I was dressed nicely, nice jeans, dark blue blouse with makeup. I left my place way too early and decided to stop off at a well-known game distributor to see if anything jumped out at me. I was close to the back of the place, and they know me well enough to know my name and what games I like. I was looking at a newer game, don't remember what it was, and I watched a small group of kids come in. Group of about 3 or 4 teens, maybe 15 to 16 at the oldest. I ignored them, I don't like kids. So I glanced up when one of them came toward me and started asking if I knew anything about one of the systems and their cost. Told him what he needed to know and that I have no clue how much they cost since I don't work there. He looked a bit embarrassed but asked me if I was sure I didn't work there. Told him I was positive. He nodded and walked back to his buddies and I went back to ignoring him. I glanced to the side as he came over again with the goofiest grin I have ever seen. He is now known as SWK, Star Wars Kid, for this story. His friends are 1, 2, and 3, and cashier is C. SWK. You don't work here, I know, so you got plans tonight? Me. Yes. SWK. Cancel them and go out with me instead. I looked up and stared at him for a second. No. And I swear this is what he does. He holds up his hands in an Obi-Wan Kenobi fashion and stared at me. Then he waves it in front of me. He's Jedi mind tricking me. SWK. You would love to go on a date with me tonight. Me. Are you serious? SWK. Waves again. You would love to date me tonight. Me. Sorry, Obi-Wan, but the Jedi mind trick will always fail on a gamer girl. SWK tried it again. I stared at him for another second and then burst out laughing. This poor idiot looks so startled as I'm holding onto the shelf to avoid falling on the floor. I dropped my game and I had to try to pick it up while trying not to pee my pants from laughing. He sulked off as I waved my own hand at him, laughing out a firm no. I went to the counter to buy my new game and C is holding onto the counter laughing his ass off. I bought my game, having finally stopped my hysterical laughter, and I can hear his buddies giving him the biggest raft of crap. So I brought back on my modeling work from many years ago and pulled out my inner Tyra and walked towards them. They paused as I stopped close by and looked to his buddies. Me. You're giving him crap, but he was the only one brave enough to try. 1, 2, and 3's eyes went wide as SWK started to die laughing. I sashayed myself to my car and left. C told me later that SWK kept asking if C knew me, and he asked why. SWK told him that he had never been schooled like that by anyone, and it was awesome. I love that this woman stood up for Star Wars Kid. I mean, she took a situation that could have been really embarrassing for him, where he would have been mocked by his friends, and kind of made him the victor. At the Bullseye. It was still well below the point of too cold to be outside, so I was wearing my heavy flannel shirt, button down, solid red. I had on my silks in another layer as well. I was parked only 4 spots out from the door, so I left my jacket in the car. Quick run in, grab a quick snack from the market section that didn't taste like McDonald's and a regret. I was expecting to be in and out in about 5 minutes tops. As I was looking for the single-serve meat and cheese pack, I heard a voice that sounded like Fran Drescher was smoking too much. Shrill and gravel, such a great combination. Talking to my back, she said, "I need you to check the back for whatever it was, Taiwanese organic sweetened cockroach cheese crunchers or whatever." Turning around, I see an unusually dressed person standing there. Black leggings, mid-thigh skirt with a silver hem, what looked like to my fashion dead eye, a silk t-shirt, pearls, and silver and turquoise dangling earrings. I love those, so they always catch my eye. She had those thin eyebrows that always look like arches ready to support a bridge, and enough makeup that I thought of Odo from Deep Space Nine, with no facial skin actually visible. If she laid down on the parking lot, they would probably try to plow her, and any ski resort would be thrilled to have that much powder. She had some kind of heavy ski parka with more fur on the trim than a sexy Santa's elf costume in the child seat part of her cart. But while her torso was obviously going to be warm, I immediately laughed at the obvious freezing of her legs in this weather. I don't know why people do that, but I'm sure they don't either. Her cart was filled with plastic wine glasses, several packages of those overpriced fancy disposable plates, and the plastic utensils that look like metal from 30 feet away. So it was clear she was going to host something she thought was important, and that she was used to telling people what to do. I said, me, ooh, I know this one. You're going to tell me to do something, I'm going to say I don't work here, then you'll say I'm lying and demand to see my manager so you can get me fired, right? She had a look of confrangry in her eyes, not understanding what I was saying. Her hand had the fingertips touching her chest right at the base of her neck thing, the universal sign of, I don't understand what is happening, but well, I never, and she leaned back slightly. Me, I'm right, aren't I? That's what you were going to say, isn't it? You need to find people wearing a red polo. They'll have 3 buttons high and close, up by the neck. Not a long-sleeved flannel shirt with buttons all the way down. Easy mistake. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go back outside into the cold. Enjoy your party, I'm sure you're a lovely hostess. Last I saw her, she was having an attack of fish jaw, mouth flopping open and closed, and her pointy eyebrows looked like they were trying to launch through her bangs. Quick self-scan later, and I was back outside questioning my life choices that resulted in having to encounter weird, entitled ladies in the frozen north instead of having to encounter weird, entitled ladies in beach-going temperatures, so I wouldn't have to see those South Park Kenny coats with enough dog hair to double as a furnace filter. Lady, I don't know where the towels are, and I need to find a toilet ASAP. Not a very dramatic or violent tale, but it was coincidentally funny, in a, of course this would happen sort of way. One summer, I was working 2 jobs, for no other reason than because I wanted money and to give myself something to do other than stay at home butting heads with my dad, who I loved very much, but as I was a homeschooled kid and he ran his own business from home, we saw far too much of each other to the point that we fought over petty things more than anything else. The 2 jobs I worked were at a movie theater and a family fun park next door, the type with laser tag and go-karts. I was very tired, very sunburnt, and my back was constantly killing me from doing nothing but standing, as you aren't allowed to sit on the job. I had a great farmer's tan for my troubles and toned muscles, but still, exhausting physically and emotionally drained every week. Needless to say, getting a day off was a rare and beautiful thing that I treasured and valued highly. My mom decided she wanted to take me shopping on my unusual day of sweet, sweet freedom, so we went to a restaurant together and then we went to Kohl's, not how it's spelled, to browse women's wear. I was having a grand old time when it hit me, and by it, I mean excruciatingly painful, highly urgent stomach cramps. I get these a lot due to medical complications from past surgeries, so it's not unusual, it's just very inconvenient and embarrassing. I knew I had to find a bathroom, so I looked at my mom and said, "Gotta go, be right back." By this point, she knows what's up and looks around, hoping she can spot a sign to help point me in the right direction, but there is none. I start booking it at a fast walk down the ridiculously lengthy expanse that is the Kohl's store, hoping to find anything in the back that resembles a toilet. I go past a selection of hand towels and a flood of relief hits me as I spot the holy and coveted sign for the restroom, when I see an elderly woman approach me, materializing from the shelves of hand towels like a wizened sage from a cave. In a quivering old woman's voice, she asks, "Miss, do you work here?" Of course. Of course this happens to me on my day off, when I'm not even in the same town as the places I actually work. Of course it happens when I least need it to. I let out a sharp, "Nope," and pick up the pace as I feel my stomach give a very demanding squeeze. She follows behind me, continuing, "But do you know where I might find the hand towels?" By this point, I'm in a panic. My body is in full emergency mode. However, this old woman isn't being rude, just tenacious. She really wants to find her hand towels. I turn to her and as quickly as I can say, "Ma'am, I don't work here and I really, really need to get to the restroom. But if you give me like 10 minutes, I'll be happy to help you." She gives me the confused old woman squint. "Where can I find someone who works here?" There's a feeling like a boa constrictor is wrapped around my gut and crushing the life out of it. So I let out a feeble, "Ma'am, I can't help you," and start sprinting. When I finally was able to exorcise the demon that had been brewing inside me, I looked around for the old woman, feeling a little guilty, but I didn't see her anywhere. I found my mom and told her about A, how ridiculously far the bathroom was, and B, about my encounter. She laughed and said, "Only on your day off, huh?" So yeah, no tantrums, no attempts to get me fired, no one particularly entitled, but still pretty inconvenient. God, this girl has the patience of a saint and a heart of gold. If I were urgently looking for a bathroom, there's no way I would stop to help anyone.